Joe, what are you getting?
I'm a chicken.
All right.
A buffalo McChicken with buffalo sauce on it.
All right, get me, Jake, get out of here. Get me a, get me a 10-piece chicken nugget.
What do you want? We had like legit dinner. I just need something like warm because my throat hurts. I just want to.
So why don't you go to fucking Dunkin' Donuts?
Why don't you go to McDonald's, Joe? Oh!
I bet you they're.
I didn't think
I bet you they're sitting there like, hello. May I please take your
my
order?
car is like.
All right, get me.
I know.
Get me a large number 15 with a Diet Coke.
Jesus Christ.
Hello, insects of YouTube. It's that much amount of noise, and joining me are these fuckers. Why don't we introduce ourselves? This is Bill.
Hi, I'm eating food.
He's eating food. That's Jake. This is. What's your name, Mark?
Who are you? What
Oh,
you are?
already told him.
It's Mark. And this is Joe Massinio.
Hi guys.
He's
He's
my
me for
bitch.
Chaos. What's up? Oh, yeah.
I'm Zazubar.
Yeah.
This is Asbar.
Would you get out of here?
Most subscribers at this table.
You're done. You're done, Jake. You had enough fries.
I'm a Y-grade YouTube.
No!
No!
I'm not gonna eat it. I'm not gonna.
Yo, Will, calm down.
So we are actually filming this
I'm really
at
hungry.
1 o'clock. Like, what time is it?
1:26, I bet.
Yeah, about 1:30.
Well, we're filming this at about 1:30 in the morning. But anyways,
35.
what did we go see, you guys? What did
Interstellar.
We saw Lincoln Lawyer in space.
Lincoln Lawyer, and we saw Tusk
You're
2.
the reason people feel this.
We saw Tusk 3, the return, and
We saw Interstellar.
we saw fucking Interstellar.
We saw Interstellar.
I need to see a product
Do you
placement.
actually want them? I want the cigarette right here.
Now selling Advil at your local. Who sells that? Everybody sells that.
Everyone sells that.
However,
Just go down to your local dog pound. They probably sell Advil.
AdamNoise.spreadshirt.com/Advil. The t-shirt
So-
says Advil.
What were you guys' overall thoughts? I mean, let's just start spitting stuff out.
God,
so I
that
think
was so
that's-
much better than Tusk.
Well, if you compare Interstellar to Tusk,
God, it was so much better.
Well, let me just say this. I intentionally went in only having seen the first trailer that we saw when we saw Godzilla.
Oh, no, I've never seen any trailer.
And I wanted to go in with no expectations because it seemed like a kind of movie that wasn't going to so much be a series of plots as much as it was, or a series of plot points, as much as it was an experience. And the best part about an experience is not knowing.
the sex.
Yes, sex. Well, it's it's like a roller coaster. It's not expecting the turns and the dips.
The sex?
Yes, it's like not expecting the
No, but
sex.
sometimes roller coasters are that though.
The
That you
sex.
know that there's gonna be a dip. You won't go on roller coasters and you think, I'm gonna have sex on this roller coaster. This roller
I'm gonna
coaster.
fuck everything that's on this roller coaster, including my grandmother and this dog and the roller coaster itself.
If you said cat, then I would have questioned what you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna question what's going on at his house.
But yeah, go with what you were saying.
Because roller coasters, sometimes you think, oh,
You're
there's gonna
thinking
be
way
a
too
drop.
literally about my metaphor.
No, but what do you mean? You go on a roller coaster and said, I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen here. Do I go fast? Do I go slow?
First time you go on a roller coaster.
You can see it though. You know what you're getting yourself into.
Well, it's a Chris Nolan movie.
And you know
Well,
what
you
that
see the
movie's
trailer
gonna
from a distance.
be. I didn't see any trailer.
Yeah, I went over, and I've said this several times. And I've said I think this is going to be the 2001: A Space Odyssey of our generation. Is it as good as 2001: A Space Odyssey? God, no. You can't never top that film. However, I can easily say that I think that title's going to wind up holding up.
Until the next good movie.
Until the next good movie comes out. No. But seriously, my expectations were high for this film going in. Like, I love these kind of space movies. I love the whole thing of space exploration and stuff like that, and I love the slow stuff that's going on. Like, you have to admit, like, there are quite a few shots in the film when they're going in space that are just really slow, and I love those.
Yeah. Shots.
Actually, there was one thing I didn't. I did not think about it. There's one thing I didn't like because I like the build up when they're going into space. He got into space really fucking fast. Like he was like, "You're gonna be a pilot." Okay.
It is a little weird because it's like he stumbles across like underground NASA, and then
Spoilers.
10 minutes. Yeah, spoilers. And then 10 minutes later, they're like,
starts getting fisted by robots.
And hey, dude,
he got tased when he walked up to the gate, right?
Hey, dude that we just met and we just tased. We're gonna send you into space, and you're never gonna see your kids again. All right. And that's basically it.
In what movie does he say this? Does he actually say it in the movie?
I have no idea.
No,
You said it 40 times tonight.
Well,
He says it in the one where I Love College Girls. They get
Oh
younger
yeah,
and
Days
younger,
and
they go
Confused.
same age.
They all stay all. I get old. They all stay the same age. All right.
You got any weed on you? No. Yeah.
You ever seen that
If you
movie?
did.
I haven't.
No, my grandparents don't let me see
Yeah,
it.
that movie they go to see Aerosmith, and that's the main like.
Okay.
Hang on, before we get too far away from this.
I like this movie.
We were talking about he goes into space a little bit too quickly, but I think that
It's a lot
they
better
built
than
it-
seeing like a montage of just.
Well, but
boring
they do
stuff.
I
kind
agree
of.
with- I agree with Jay.
I mean, what they do is kind of interesting because it's like, you know, I thought we were gonna get a scene of like him putting the astronaut suit on and the build up to it.
But that wasn't the case.
No, because
wasn't.
I think they were like at this point he's so determined to do this that you don't need to see that because I think that, that no one didn't want to show that he was conflicted about it.
Now I think about it, it cut from literally him driving away from his house, and he was in outer space.
And
Well,
well, here's
here's
the
how
thing.
it was
Here's
in when
here's
he was driving
why I
by,
can
yeah.
defend it. Why I actually defend this, and I don't mind it. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I don't mind it. And that's because it's almost like throughout the entire thing, it's hinting that he wants this adventure.
Oh,
He
yeah,
wants
absolutely
something-
does, yeah.
And so
Because
he kind of comes off as, and this is another reason why I like him, as kind of the selfish, flawed
He is a
character.
little selfish, yeah.
And I like it. I do. I like it. I mean, he's pained to leave his daughter, and I'm kind of painting him right now as being this horrible human being.
No,
Trust me, he's not.
No, not at all.
But he's
This
like
must be a review, by the way. This isn't just criticizing
Yeah.
the movie. It's supposed to be a review.
whatever we call it. I
Whatever
say
review
analysis more than anything.
Son's a Jewish podcast.
Well, I make
I don't
fun of
know,
Jews all the
I
time.
don't know what
so-
that means.
I don't know what
Yeah,
Jews
I don't
are.
know.
I'm
What's
not,
Sarazawa?
I'm not a human being, so I can't relate to any of this.
Fuck. Well, that's it, everybody. That's the end.
Yeah, bye. Subscribe.
Bye. Subscribe.
I just got really racist really quickly.
Leave your comment down below. Which favorite Call of Duty game?
But the first one, the one that takes place in space. Remember that scene in Modern Warfare 2 where
Yes.
it's this brief scene where you're on a satellite?
Yeah, the
and you
nuke
see
goes
the
off.
nuke
and you
go
see
off.
the EMP. You see
It's
the
like the
nuke go
best
off
scene in the whole game.
No, there's a better scene. When you throw the knife in the fucking asshole's face.
Oh, Shepard.
Shepard?
Yeah.
Why you gotta say it like that?
Shepard.
Calm down,
Shepard.
so.
I love
That
Shepard.
is good. Anyway,
Interstellar.
Yeah.
Interstellar.
I always call it the Space Odyssey.
It is a space odyssey.
It is very reverential towards. No, I don't think just Space Odyssey. I think that's more general.
Oh god, no! There were several homages that this film made to like the entire scene where they were first going to that planet that's all water. Clearly,
Yeah.
and I looked over at you and I was like Planet of the Apes.
Yeah,
I mean they shot it like
It's
like it
it's
was
very
Planet of
similar to the
Apes.
original Planet of the Apes. I also thought there was a lot of in the score. I heard a lot of like classic Star Trek in terms of like the.
Did they use organs in Star Trek? Like,
Yes, they did.
They did.
Or they used a lot of it. However, I felt like the music was a lot more classical than Star Trek. I didn't get the Star Trek thing at all. I'm the Trekkie here. Well, I'm a big Trekkie. I know you're a Trekkie, right? No, you're not.
I think he was going for more.
I don't fucking like
more
fuck Star Trek.
But I mean, I liked the do. It was just these really simple notes.
it was like do.
Kind of like
Yeah.
And it wasn't like do.
Yeah. It was very.
It sounded
simple.
very ethereal, and I think that was the point.
Yeah, and I said this to you guys earlier, and I want to know what your take is on this as well. But what I liked about this was that it beautifully mixed space being scary as fuck, but beautiful at the same time.
Wow.
Which I mean, we had like gravity.
They actually mentioned it in the movie too, because he's like, outside of this wall, it's 6 inches of aluminum and nothing for
the
hundreds of millions of
instant
miles.
death. Yeah.
Black Morgan Freeman impersonator, and
Wow.
I think that was the guy who played Felix Leiter in the new James Bond series.
You're right. Yeah.
I think. I don't.
No, it's who it was.
Quote me on that.
Black Morgan
Yeah, I don't
He
Freeman.
was
Okay.
also Peeps in Shaft. He was seriously Peeps in Shaft. But yeah, it did that absolutely well. I think I said this to you guys walking out. It reminded me when I went on Space Mountain for the first
You
time.
did say that. You said it when we were in like the hallway.
Yeah, when we were walking out. And you absolutely did. It's like when you first go into Space Mountain and you walk through those hallways that have the line going up to the ride, there was all these like images of
Yes.
space and that beautiful music. And this felt like that. It really created this sense of wonder in this time where we're not really focusing on space travel. It's something that we're kind of like pushing
Unless
aside.
there is some type of like fake NASA, like not NASA.
I hope there is.
NASA.
I do hope there's somebody out there who's like, hey, we can't stop
We have to
looking
keep
up at
going.
the stars. Yeah, I mean, did you guys see the It's so funny that I've been watching this when this movie came out. You guys see the new Cosmos series with Neil deGrasse
I've checked
Tyson?
it out. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the whole point of it is like we can't just.
Isn't like the remake of like Nova? You know, remember the show Nova?
Oh, Nova.
No, it is.
Yeah.
It is a remake. It's a remake of there was an original '80s show called Cosmos. I don't know if it was on Nova. I don't think it was. I think it was
No,
American.
but Nova was a show that did a lot of science.
Was
Nova
he
was
on
British,
that
though.
show too? Neil deGrasse
Probably.
Tyson?
He's been everywhere. He's been everywhere.
But I mean,
Most notable
My
for
God.
that face, the meme. He's like, you know what I'm talking about?
He's really funny though.
I can say this. I mean, I had high expectations going into this movie, and I've already said why. But this blew my expectations out of the water.
It was,
Like,
yeah.
like I mean, I said I loved Godzilla, right? But I mean, this literally took my expectations, pummeled them into the ground, and said, "Ta-da!"
Did Godzilla come out in the same like cycle? Will be up for awards at the same time as this movie?
Yes,
Yeah, it will.
it's all 2014. Here's my question to you though: this or Dawn?
Oh, this hands down. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Did you see
Interstellar.
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes?
Yeah, it's really good.
I know it's really good. But
Oh,
did you see this movie we just saw?
I just saw it. No,
I'm
but
sorry,
no,
Bill. I'm sorry. This movie.
But
takes
just
that
on a
movie
level.
back.
But here's the thing though. This is a movie that I really want to see again, not watching it in a movie theater, because it's a very theatrical experience. Like if you listen, there's been a lot of hate reviews for this movie.
And we don't.
Ignore
don't
them. Don't read them. And
Because
go
someone's
see
gonna
the
see
movie
this
yourself.
before those ones.
Well, true. But here's my
If
point.
someone's really in depth in like thinking about this movie and was really like on edge, and they find this, then think it. Well, why do these 5 people like it? And then maybe they'll make change your mind. There's 5 of us here, right? Yeah, there's 5 of us.
So
Nice
they can
math.
do math.
But it's like the thing is that it's just a movie that you just kind of have to experience, and you're gonna take away.
That's what this
something from
film
it. Yeah.
is. This
It's an
film,
experience.
and there's a lot of films that you sit back and you watch. This is an experience.
Yeah.
Film. Well, maybe not so much like the first act when he's down on Earth, because that has a lot
I
of
actually
world
felt
building.
super nervous, like when Matt Damon. Spoilers. When Matt Damon was about to like open the airlock,
Yeah.
I got super nervous. I'm like, he's gonna fucking kill everybody.
Yeah.
I thought it was just this isn't 3 hours.
I know,
I thought
yeah.
it was the end of the movie.
So wait, are we?
And that was something that was good. That was good too. Was how like I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen next.
Very
That
very
ending,
cool, yeah.
man. That ending,
Yeah.
I think, was not only so well put together, but I think it's one of the most genius endings and original endings that I have seen in a very, very, very long time for any film. Period.
The movie was so ballsy about its representation of the future, because
Yeah.
It was like future is but they didn't like make it like, oh, maybe humanity can survive on Earth. No, it's like humanity is going to die
we are
on this
going
planet.
to
But
die.
it did this.
There's nothing they can do. They have failed.
It did this
But they can
really
survive.
interesting thing that I think is going to really help it in the long run. Is that a lot of sci-fi movies that were made in like the 70s or 80s, they look like this kind of pseudo-futuristic version of the technology of that time. You see this if you play Alien Isolation. That
Oh, that was great.
It's this. I haven't played it
It's so
personally.
good.
I haven't played
I
it
love it.
personally, but it's like this. It's like this recreation of here's what we thought the future was going to look like in
Gonna look like.
1978.
Yeah.
And this movie kind of does that too, but it does it in a way of, yeah, that laptop looks like it came from our age. This is supposed to be decades into the future,
I like
but
some-
it makes
yeah.
sense because they froze the technology in that time.
They
on
did.
purpose.
They didn't
I
need
thought
it.
that was
They didn't
brilliant.
They didn't need it.
That was
that was
brilliant.
brilliant.
You have no idea. You kind of get, first off, I love the imagery on Earth that reminded me so much of the footage I saw from like the Great Depression, the Dust Bowls.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
And I was like, I love the imagery, and specifically because right now we're going through very hard economic times. I said, Nolan, you're genius for picking now to release something like that, just because the images are so.
Well, he also finished shooting it, I'm assuming, and he just wanted to get it out and make some money.
Probably.
Yeah.
I assume that's the reason. But I also thought it was good that it came out when it did, because it's like, it's addressing an issue that it's like, oh, we shouldn't be going to space, we shouldn't be focusing on that, we need to focus on the problems here. That's
But
a
the
lot of
problems
people's
here
debate.
could become so big that no one can change
That's
them.
the movie's point, is that we shouldn't cut off any options if we can't solve the problem here. Keep all options open. That's kind of the point of the movie. And it's a very optimistic movie, which is something I really liked about it.
which is weird because it sort of opens up as a very pessimistic movie,
No one's gonna end,
as
yeah.
a lot of these kind of sci-fi
Absolutely.
apocalyptic films do. And then at the ending, you feel uplifted.
Absolutely.
You do. You're like, this is great. You're like, you
There's
feel
actually-
good.
There's two things I like about it. I was gonna say earlier before everybody like jumped in on it. They never mention a time. They don't say this is
They never do.
20,
Well, I really like that
2050,
too, yeah.
this is 2050, 2100.
You kind of get a gauge that
Yeah.
this is several decades
Yeah.
in the future, but they never give you a distinct time, which makes this work.
But the way the grandfather described it,
It sounded like he
back
grew
in
up.
mind, yeah, it sounded like he was our age now.
Exactly.
Yeah,
He's like back
exactly.
in mind there was a new gadget, everybody was trying
That's
to get it.
exactly.
And all I could think was, is he talking about iPhones right now?
It's not too specific.
It's
where
not.
Like, I
Yeah,
love
It
that.
would have
about it.
been Nintendo.
That's
in
what I think is going to help in the
1960s.
long run. This movie's going
Like
to hold up
Pac-Man
for
thing.
decades.
Mhm.
Because it can be relatable because there's always going to be something wrong with the world. There's always going to be someone wanting something new. Even if... But another thing that was also kind of bad on us about it, we're all the animals. Just because there's no...
Well, here's the thing that I was thinking was that they're probably in.
I didn't think of that. It's a good point.
That is a good
Clearly,
point, but they're
because when it
probably
drives
in like a
around, there's-
confined area just because of there's clearly whatever this plight, they call it the plight, I think.
The blight, yeah.
Whatever this is, clearly is going specifically after the crops. First off, they never explain what that is,
Oh,
which
that's-
I actually don't really mind because that's
It
not
would've
really.
It
taken
doesn't
too
matter.
long.
It's
Yeah.
not, it's just,
It
it's just
doesn't
a lot.
matter.
If they're going to find other planets, the planet's not going to
That's what the fucking movie's going to be about,
Yeah.
so we don't need to focus on that.
It's just there to get us to the Interstellar
Yeah.
stuff.
And first off, I like how this wasn't, speaking of the plight, it wasn't like some virus that fucking wiped out entire.
It was
No,
just
no.
dust.
It was essentially. There was one line. I can't believe I just remembered this. There was one line where they said, "I never thought the soil
would
that
turn, yeah, the old
would
Oh,
turn
yeah, it's
against
against
us."
That's right, yeah.
And so I was like,
the same soil that would give us all this
Yeah.
harvest
would turn against us. And first off, it really sets up that first it was wheat, and then it went to all this other stuff.
No, it only was wheat, and then it went to
It started
Okra?
going after.
Okra. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
And then there, to the point where there was only corn left, and then it started going going after the corn.
Right.
Yeah, but then at one point,
not the corn.
there's like
corn, anything but the corn, not the corn.
I understand it's like clearly like an area like I know that's where like that's where all the bread is and all that stuff.
Mhm.
But there's at one point he clearly drives into the mountains and there's trees everywhere and there's nice water.
Wait, when does
When-
he when he goes
he's
to
going
NASA?
to NASA.
It looks
How
pretty
does it
desolate.
say
It does.
Looks pretty
I thought it
desolate,
No, but
looked
right,
there's
Joe?
still you can still see trees and actually at one point in one of the shots if
Yeah,
you,
but we can't eat trees though.
the leaves on the trees, which means there could be animals around eating on those.
Oh,
I'm
I see
trying
what
to
you're
put on
saying.
there, animals.
This is true.
And like even there was even one shot that there was like one bird, but they cut away from it super fast. Like that wasn't like the bird wasn't supposed to be in that shot.
I don't know why you just reminded me. Let me ask you guys a question because I didn't really think about it that much because it wasn't really important, but it was just kind of a cute.
This movie fucking sucks.
Yeah. No.
Dude,
You know when they go to the baseball stadium?
Yes.
And it's like it says the world famous Yankee Stadium and it's really tiny.
yeah, that's what I didn't understand.
Or are they supposed to be in New York?
I don't know.
Because it's presented
Oh,
like
that'd be cool.
because that's
Like
I
they
think
become yeah, but there's two things that's completely wrong with that. Because if it is New York, they definitely would not be growing crops there because we're not in an area that's good for that.
But the point is that they would be trying to do it everywhere.
This is true.
But
So
then they're-
I could go either way with this. I kind of like the idea that it could have been New York. I
Because
love
it says
that
the
idea.
world famous Yankee
Yeah,
Stadium.
and
and I'm
they have the
like,
Yankee they have the Yankees
Yeah.
uniform on.
Absolutely, and it's like
But they might have just been like there's not a big like thing for that.
I
Like
just
sports
want a hot
players
dog.
aren't like yeah. And he has to be from our time.
I
Yeah,
swear to God, he.
Because you ever go to a baseball game and say I want popcorn. No, you want.
fuck.
But
Hot
but
dog.
it's so nondescript that it could be like, oh, this is like let's say somebody's watching this 20 years from now. Oh, that was 2025 when he was
Yeah.
when he was our age. It's like it works perfectly.
It does. It really does.
And you
because
can
of how
relate, and
they-
that's what good movies always have. Like you can relate throughout history. Like
Yeah, absolutely.
you guys keep talking. I gotta think of the movie but they like. Oh no, Romeo and Juliet. There's always love, no matter what.
Yeah,
There's always someone
sure.
you want to be with, and maybe someone trying to stop you. That's relatable to everybody.
Mm.
That's why it's been so like well done throughout like.
Yeah, I can see your point there.
You two have been quiet.
I'm just letting you guys know.
I like how you both said, huh? It's like,
Mark doesn't say shit, but speak now.
Mark, say something about the movie.
Well,
Well,
I
hated it. Fucking hated it. No.
I did see the trailer before, like just like one time, and I was like, okay, this seems interesting. But I never expected me to actually go see it. I
Kinda just
I
dragged
kind
it along,
of
didn't
yeah.
you
These
kinda just
assholes
yeah.
dragged me along.
We basically put a leash around him. He was eating, and I'm like, Mark, come with us. He's like, what?
Okay.
is that really what happened? They
No. This is Mark's reaction. This is Mark's reaction. He goes, all right.
Alright.
They texted me. They're like, "Oh,
What's-
you're gonna
he's
hang
like-
out?" I'm like, "Yeah, what are we gonna do? We're going to see a movie. You're coming with us."
Okay.
I guess I'm doing that tonight.
Mark's on my telling him, what's the worst thing that could possibly happen?
Everything.
Yeah,
Everything.
But yeah, well,
But anyway, I wasn't really sure about what I was going to get when watching this, because for the most part, I kind of think that this sort of movie wasn't really going to be my thing. Especially like with the beginning, it was a little. It wasn't a.
it's not really what they're advertising.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I knew they were gonna go to space eventually,
Right.
but like once that happened, all the way, like the rest of the movie was just like
there wasn't a moment in that film where my mouth wasn't like,
I was never bored by it.
me neither.
The only thing that really gave me, and it's just interesting because time is a big part of the movie.
It is.
And
Oh my god.
the only
I know
thing
what
that
you're
gave
gonna
me, the only thing that really gave me like a sense of like, wow, this movie's really long. Is I have to pee really bad.
say. Well, that's not what I was gonna say.
Well, I love
I have
this
to pee
scene
so
where
bad
they-
right now.
You might say what I'm about. I was thinking. Let's go. Where you go?
Oh, well, I was gonna talk about the guy waking up 23 years later.
That's what I was gonna.
All right.
Okay.
That was so good.
No, I meant
Sorry.
personal.
IRL time? No, we're talking about the movie. We're not caring that you have to pee.
Well, no. There's this critic that said, I forgot what his name was. Please
Neil
forgive
deGrasse
me.
Tyson.
But he actually said,
That
I judge
movie is
movies on how
bullshit.
much I have to pee by the end of them.
Uh-huh.
And like, if he has to get up and leave to pee, then he knows it's not that good of a movie.
Yeah.
But
I think that the pee happens in a movie, and I'm like, I need to stay for this.
I need to say, like,
That's what I felt. I was like, I can
I
hold
haven't
it.
peed. I don't know how you guys. I don't know how.
I
you
peed
guys-
after.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I peed
everybody
before.
does.
I
I
peed
unleashed
after.
the beast after, man. It was just a
release
Niagara
the
Falls.
river.
This is 2 minutes. No,
Took the tweezers out.
when we saw Days of Future Past,
that movie was. I went to the bathroom twice.
that was the longest pee I've ever had in my life. I peed for like 2 minutes
All right.
straight.
Well, let's get back to Interstellar.
Sure. Sorry.
Actually, I realized I don't like that scene actually. That one part
The
with
pee scene?
no, just no. Yeah. The one part
you
actually.
guys remember that?
Oh, yeah,
scene?
that's
they're
in
on,
the end credits.
they're on the planet, and they're like, "Oh, we're counting the minutes." Like, "Oh, we're gonna be ready to go up in 10 minutes." And they said an hour is 7 years.
Yes.
So they were only there for an extra. They weren't there for the full hour, but they were there for 10 minutes counting down. And they came back up. To
She
the
was
space
wrong.
station.
She said she was wrong in her
Yeah,
calculation.
she said she
Oh,
calculated
she
it
said
wrong.
that.
Yeah,
I
she
didn't
did.
realize that. I didn't
And
know-
Hathaway, that's
I thought
what
she meant wrong in like not coming back to the ship.
No.
I mean,
She came up. She was like, when that guy come out and said, "I have been here for 23 years," and
He said he was a good actor too.
Yeah,
he
he was.
He was so genuinely like excited. Like, I didn't think you were gonna come back. I
yeah,
think
he was
you
like,
might."
"I didn't think you guys like."
I
He
thought
was
you
So
came
earnest. He was great.
Yeah, and but she. That's why Anne Hathaway was freaking out. Was because she was like, "I did the math. The math worked out, and the math didn't work out." And
Because it is based on bullshit.
yeah, it is.
Because her dad was fucking Alfred. being a
Alfred
butler
was
over
an
there thinking
asshole.
he's cool.
He got back from his trip from Italy, and
Is
he was
he in every
like,
Christopher Nolan movie?
"Yeah, he's
Yeah.
he's
Is
in
he like
Inception."
Tim Burton's wife in every?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Him and Christopher Nolan, you know,
Yeah.
they have really strange relationship.
And I have a feeling that Anne Hathaway is going to become a new.
Oh yeah,
she was in Rises.
Catwoman.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
Catwoman.
Yep.
But
I didn't even think about that.
man, was she good in this movie too?
She was really good.
Jesus.
She
No,
wasn't
Matt-
as good as McConaughey was, but she
No,
was good.
no. She,
I
yeah,
felt
of course not,
McConaughey when
but-
he was like just genuinely like he was like, "This is your grandson."
Such a good protagonist.
Oh God.
And then
That
he's
scene-
he's
oh.
explaining he's like oh he didn't even make it like his first son, and then he's like crying, and he sees everything. You guys understood that part, right? That
Yeah.
he explained like his first son
Yeah,
died.
his first son died. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's what it was.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because that's the goes to
Jesse?
Grandpa.
Was that
No,
kid's
no.
name
Yeah,
Jesse, or whatever? the kid
Grandpa
that
and
he-
Jesse are back out in the back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'll go for it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, and the hardest line was his daughter was like, "You want to lose another kid?" Oh, I'm like, oh, She didn't get punched in the face.
Yeah.
She did.
But what made that scene work so well was though the music helped, but Matthew McConaughey's performance in that scene was probably the most human performance I this year in terms of films. Like he's laughing.
Yeah.
Dad, we're recording.
All right, can I have the chips in the corner? Not the nice one.
Which one?
Cassie, somebody.
No, the other one.
There's like nothing left in here.
That's fine.
We're not syncing sound.
But what was I saying? Shit.
You were saying his human performance.
Oh yeah, because he's laughing. He's sitting there. He's laughing. He's happy to see them.
Yeah, but then he was so like broken.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it slowly starts degenerating, and he starts losing his shit.
Because he's
And
like,
I'm
I missed everything.
everything.
And then his daughter comes on, and he was like about to. I thought he was gonna break the computer monitor, like the monitor
Yeah, I
off.
thought I was glad.
And
he
then
didn't.
it like, cut open to his daughter, and he's like, and like he like went like this. He went back like that. And I was like, that's cool.
You guys, like, I think I mentioned this to one of you. I was like, there were so many points in the movie where I thought somebody was gonna snap mentally, and they didn't.
And they didn't.
And I thought that was kind of interesting because it's like we're so trained for that when we see these space movies or these
That
survival
someone
movies.
has some type of
Somebody's gonna snap.
I was expecting the computer,
And
that computer thing. I was expecting something.
Oh,
to go
the
wrong with
robots?
that.
No, that's what I thought.
Oh
too.
shit! I forgot his name.
Tars
Tars.
and
Thank you.
Tars and Case. I mean, Matt Damon kind of snapped, but he clearly had that plan.
That was the
for a
climax of
while.
the movie when Matt Damon turned.
I would say that is that. No, I would.
Because the climax definitely wasn't when they went into the black
Did you
hole.
guys notice that there wasn't?
I
really,
disagree. I would
Other
say
than,
that's the
other than
climax.
him, there isn't really an antagonist per se.
No, absolutely
in
not.
this
The
film.
antagonist
Like,
was
even
the blood.
Well, technically,
It was just time. Time was the antagonist.
Well, if you really look at it, people probably can say Matt Damon and
But that makes it a better movie because
and
you don't
Michael
know
Caine.
what
They could
like,
say Michael Caine was an antagonist, but yeah, he wasn't really. He was honestly doing what he was like.
no, he succeeded. Get out there and save them. If he
Get
hadn't-
out there and save them. If
hadn't
he
gone out
didn't,
there, they would
then
be
then
dead.
there wouldn't have been anything. There would have been zero. Period.
He sacrificed his humanity to save the
Loved
world.
that line.
That was
That
great.
was a great line.
And to be fair, it was said by a guy who turned out to be an asshole, but he's right. He's absolutely right.
Which is
He just
that's
didn't
the
know how.
irony of that scene.
Yeah, absolutely.
Matt Damon, I think, to me personally, Matt Damon was the thing that kind of, to me, that was the one thing that I can really pinpoint out and say I didn't really care for that. I'll be
No, but his
honest.
performance right when he got out and he started crying, that was really
That was
good.
really good.
That
Yeah,
was-
it was when suddenly he
I got
turned.
crushed
It was the part where he turned,
Yeah.
and I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
That was actually my reaction. I actually was like, ugh.
I heard
But-
you do
I was-
that.
But I was like-
It was a little typical of a movie
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this.
yeah. But I applaud the film for then taking that kind of what they thought was going to be a cliche and
Has
then
Matt,
just going.
has Matt Damon been in any other movies recently besides Interstellar? No, right?
Yeah, he's been in a couple
He's been-
things.
Not recently though.
I'm trying to think.
I don't know.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
He was in something recently, dude. I just
Yeah, he
can't
was
think
in
of it.
Team America Will Police.
Was
Yeah,
he
it
in that
was
movie
recently.
though?
No.
Yeah, 13 years ago.
Matt Damon.
You know, I actually had a teacher in 6th grade. Every day he'd be like, "This is a picture of me. This is a picture of Matt Damon." And he was like, just put 2 pictures of him. And like, he was like the biggest asshole.
You know, whenever I see either him or Mark Wahlberg, I can't tell them apart.
They look
They
nothing
don't-
alike.
I know they don't, but I can't. It's their facial structure. They
You thought that was Mark Wahlberg in that movie?
yeah, I was like, what the hell is
Actually, yeah. I was.
Are you serious? You
I was
thought-
like, Mark Wahlberg? But it's like, oh no, and then he said, oh no, it's Matt
But
Damon.
then I'm hearing Matt.
I thought that was Matt Damon, and then I was like, no, yeah, it's him.
Here's the problem. It's a really cool cameo if you don't know what's going to happen.
And we've already.
Here's
Well,
Oh,
he was
yeah.
also
You're
he was also like
but here's the issue with it. You're so distracted by the fact that like, oh, Matt Damon's in this movie all of a sudden.
Somebody laughed.
It kind of
Somebody laughed in
Yeah,
the
it was me.
audience.
It
Was
kind
that
of
you?
yeah, it was me.
Oh, okay.
it
Because
kind
my
of
fucking 6th grade teacher.
It was, oh,
Like-
okay. I remember hearing somebody laugh.
Because
and
I was
like,
immediately like, oh, it's Mr. Greeny.
but I was like, it's kind of distracting because it's like, oh, Matt Damon's in this movie all of a sudden. It kind of distracts from the rest
He was
of the
my 9th
story.
grade teacher, not thinking about that.
okay.
Oh, you just
Whatever.
had a number flipped
Yeah.
upside down. But I still think it worked out okay. I didn't really.
Yeah,
have a
overall,
grandstand
it
problem
still
with it.
really looked at, and the look on Alfred's face, Alfred. A fucking
I
Michael
looked
Caine.
across the cafe,
Master
White. I
White,
saw him.
do you even lift
Master White.
Did you even lift Master White?
Bro, do you even live?
Fucking, but in all seriousness, all joking aside, that his death scene in this.
Oh, it was great.
That was
performance.
powerful.
Is it possible you think Alfred and do you think the whole like universe is the same universe and like
No,
Alfred and
no.
like Catwoman just realized that they're related and like all of a sudden let's just do some scientific shit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's probably what happened.
Yeah.
If only Leonardo DiCaprio made a cameo in this,
Was-
and then we could really.
I was kind of thinking he was going to be in there.
No, because
No.
then he'd have to win an Oscar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, or get nominated but not win one.
Did not win one.
No, but this movie, based off the movies that are coming out this year, this movie is definitely gonna win an Oscar. At least
I hope
one.
so. I hope so.
Well, it's,
No, not even well. I know it will.
Yeah, but you know, Gone Girl just came out. and
Gone
that's
Girl,
forgetting
Gone
what
Girl
it
wasn't that great.
Did you see it?
I did see it.
Oh, okay.
I saw it with my
I really
girlfriend
wanted to
upstate.
see it. I really want to see Gone Girl.
Well, I'm just saying that it's got competition, especially. Well, it's also like you can't predict the Academy.
Oh,
They're a
unless-
bunch of.
They're a bunch
Yeah.
of fucking corporate
They're-
whores. That's
Well, it's
what
all
they are.
about
The
it's all about
Academy is entirely
publicity. You guys know that, right?
Yeah.
What was that?
It's all
It's all
about
about
publicity.
publicity.
It's
Sure.
whatever movie can give the most back to the foundation.
Yeah,
and stuff
absolutely.
Yeah.
And
But
you
man-
have to like get PR people like even get nominated or something.
It's advertised. They advertise the shit out of stuff on the Oscars. They have to make money because it's expensive to
Yeah, I
do.
saw it. You remember that Samsung? No, was that what was the one Ellen did? Ellen did host the Oscars.
Yeah, she did last year.
Yeah,
last
you
year.
remember that fucking Samsung
I didn't watch it
placement?
last year.
And she took the world's
Oh, the
greatest
selfie. Yeah.
and then she tweeted that picture out from an iPhone.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't her real phone. Because Samsung just like, I was taking pictures real quick here. $1 million.
Oh, I see.
Oh, I
she
didn't
got
know
paid.
shit.
You know what she got paid for that?
What?
$3.5 million
Oh my
to take
God.
that one picture.
That's crazy. That makes me hate the Academy. Fuck the Academy. Anyways, back to Interstellar.
You can't trust the system.
First off,
The world you shattered in 30 seconds.
I was worried that this film was going to be very overly convoluted, like Inception.
Yeah.
I like Inception, but that
It's really
movie
like
is
Inception.
so
Yes.
is so fucking convoluted.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was my one fear going in here, but it's not. This film, I felt like I literally followed it. I was like connecting
There was,
the
only,
dots.
there was only maybe one part, and it was I want to say it was when midway through when like it's cutting between McConaughey and then her,
Oh, I like.
and they almost did at the end again too when it was like him pushing on the bookshelves, and we're just gonna cut back to her in her room just looking around like not doing anything important.
One of the
That
most
was the only
bizarre
one.
twists in a movie, and it made perfect
It
sense.
was when
Yeah.
the robot
it was
lived.
so no. Yeah, that was it. No, it was when you get into the fifth dimension, so to speak, and you see. Yeah.
That was so.
And you see all the
good.
bookshelves.
I'm sorry.
That was
Also,
very
no,
real.
there was also another stupid part when he was in like the thing, and you could see the worlds collapsing behind him, like the
Why was that
things
stupid?
closing up. No, but then he's like, "There's another universe with a civilization that built this for us," and I'm like, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well,
No,
it's
no,
the
no, no.
future. It's the future.
I know
Yeah.
that, but the future sent back to save one person to save everybody else.
Yes.
Why didn't they just cut out the middleman and just go save everybody else?
Probably because.
And then he was like, "Oh, it's because they can't."
Because they would
communicate."
never have gotten there without him.
This is true.
Oh, that's a good
Yeah.
point. Like he
Yeah.
was. Oh yeah, and then he.
Oh
he
yeah, that's
was
right.
the bridge,
Yeah,
too.
he was that bridge to
He
get
was the
to
bridge.
her.
Okay, never
Because
mind.
they say they could not do it. So because they'd ascended too far beyond that point,
Uh-huh.
they couldn't communicate with the third dimension. They had to have a middleman who was in both.
Disregard my last statement.
So there's extraterrestrials in this universe, but not really. Like to me, there's a system of being. There's these beings from Star Trek called the Q, and the Q are like these omnipotent beings
Yeah,
that
the
act
Q
almost
collective.
like that act almost. These reminded me suspiciously of these of those like. It's like they had advanced so far in their evolution that they have transcended like physicalness.
Yeah.
But I also noticed that based off everything that like they explained, the only interaction they ever had with a being was just with Matthew McConaughey.
Well,
in
that ending. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but like even like with the girl, she's like, "Oh, I'm like communicating with one of these beings."
But it was him.
So that means they never actually physically.
They never
There are
actually.
no,
yeah.
there are no,
There are like
beings.
beings.
Yeah.
It was Matthew McConaughey.
It was the people. Well, here's the interesting thing. It's kind of alluding to a modern day UFO theory that there are no aliens that have interacted with society. That all the Roswell shit, all these abductions, are people from the future coming back in time, and I mean the distant future, and doing experiments on modern day people. And since this is the distant future, they've changed physically to have bigger eyes and white pale skin because of some change in environment.
Uh-huh.
And the theory is like they're coming back to take something from us that might help save them in the future. And I don't believe in this theory, but the interesting thing too, the thing that gave it some credence was, imagine if we were able to go back in time and we went back to Neanderthals, we'd obviously do some poking and prodding into one,
Yeah,
wouldn't we?
yeah.
Probably
Yeah,
think
we
about
probably
it.
would. Yeah.
And it's like, well, what if somebody saw us that way?
You're saying some real shit that I
It's
like
kind
right
of
now.
fucked up,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's
Yeah.
But again, I don't believe in the theory, but I'm saying this kind of reminded me of that.
It kind of does, and,
A little bit,
and
yeah.
here's the thing too that I thought just worked perfectly. You all know, well, especially you know I'm enough for religious symbolism. Especially you know how much of a guy I am for this shit.
And Tusk
There
was
was-
shouting about it, so yeah. Because there was like a cross in the room by accident, and he was like,
Yeah, yeah.
"Oh Jesus,
Jesus! No, that was a joke. That was a joke. But what I liked in this was that there were a lot of allusions to what was going to happen. The whole Lazarus Project thingy that was going on. They called it Lazarus. That was so.
Do you know what Lazarus is?
Yeah, he was the guy that died and that Jesus brought
Resurrected,
back.
yeah.
Resurrected.
Exactly.
And that not only
But they
fit.
explained it in the movie too.
Yeah, they do. And that not only fit kind of
So
like
everybody
that,
knows.
that Matt Damon thing, but it also fit with Matthew McConaughey's whole ordeal because
And
he
also,
basically dies
and also
and
the
then he
human
comes
race,
back.
and the
Yes.
human race too, because they were planning on just making new humans with like.
If they didn't
But they
save
explained
themselves,
it. They explained
yeah.
it. I heard Jake right when she pull a thing. I was like, "Is there this fucking baby in that little white container, like a full-grown baby just chilling there?" I was gonna leave the movie theater.
Yeah.
If they would have pulled it out and there was a baby crying in that thing, wouldn't you?
Here's my question about that whole plot line. Was the whole idea, the whole Plan B thing was they have a whole bunch of fertilized eggs that they're gonna shoot down onto a
Yeah,
planet.
they had fertilized eggs and sperm. That was
Right,
the whole
exactly.
thing.
But they were gonna set up a facility and they were gonna raise the babies.
Oh, because my whole question was, so you just
Yeah, they're
fire them
just
down
gonna
to the planet.
Like
and
you
then
ever
they
see
just
War of the
raise
Worlds? Yeah, they were
themselves?
gonna shoot them down like
No,
War of the
no,
Worlds.
yeah,
like,
like
till
all
water
the-
touches them.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
something.
Yeah.
But
they were
the
gonna
whole
raise
the
them
whole
up, and
illusion
yes.
thing was that they were going to get like Matthew McConaughey, Anne Hathaway, all those scientists, and they were going to be basically the new species. They were going to be the new catalyst for
How the fuck would
the
babies
human
survive? Are
race.
you retarded?
No, that's
How would
why
they-
I didn't. That's
There's
why I
a
didn't
bunch of
think
babies laying on the ground for an hour and they're
Yeah, it's exactly. So that was one
I
thing.
think
Like,
I
you know,
immediately-
nature has given us a pretty good system here of reproduction where you're able to raise your child to the point where it can take care of itself.
Yeah. Or
Yeah,
even
and
further.
all
That
It's
ending,
like,
that
fuck that
ending
shit.
foreshadows that something was going on because she set up an entire base. You see that she has like a greenhouse growing. You see that she has, and that means she's taken on that part of the ship where she was on. She's taken the Plan B stuff and she started working with it.
Uh-huh.
Right. So by the time he gets there might be like a whole bunch of people.
They're
there.
gonna
Like
be-
a whole bunch of Well, it only took him minutes to go through the thing, and they said it was only gonna take him 8 months from the center of the wormhole, by the dark hole, and to get to the third planet where her so-called boyfriend was.
The third planet from the black hole.
Yeah. Holy fuck!
Right? That is exactly
Oh,
what it is.
God.
Also, the black hole's name was Gargantua.
Which was
I've
nice.
only heard that name in 2 other places, and both of them are giant monster movies. And I have my preference as to which one it's referencing.
But the thing that first off, I love the use of time. In
Yeah,
this. Like
absolutely.
I mean, it was almost like Chris Nolan was
It
experimenting.
made me
with
really
Inception.
depressed when they said, I had something stupid about the water planet. It made me really depressed when he's like, oh, it's been 23 years, and he's like, and you see Matthew McConaughey's like, I missed my kid's birthday. Like, kind of like, he's just like,
Yeah.
like a genuine sadness, like,
yeah.
Oh, when that line where Murphy goes up to, that's the name of his daughter.
Yeah.
Murphy goes up to the camera and says, I wasn't going to do this, but then I realized it's my birthday. And I would be the same age as you were. Would you come back down?
oh my god.
And I was
the
like-
ending, I just remember the ending too.
Oh yeah.
When she says, a father shouldn't have to watch his daughter die.
Yeah.
That's so, like, heartbreaking. And all those people in that room are his family.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to know them, because they don't know him.
No, that's why. He
He's
doesn't
dead.
want to know them.
He's a ghost.
He's technically dead.
Oh yeah, because he said at the beginning that parents are the ghosts of children's future.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Days
And
of
he
Future
didn't want to.
Past.
He didn't want to interfere with it.
Which is
So-
why I love the fact that
Is that a
he
movie we
leaves.
saw?
Yeah.
Days of, okay, that's what
That's why.
I love
that's-
the look on the guy's face when they walk into the room. There's one random dude who's one of her children,
Pilot.
and he's literally just looking like,
Like,
who the fuck is this asshole?
Yeah.
And but in theory, that's his grandfather.
It's
Yes,
like, who the
but they
fuck
don't
is
know
this worthless
this.
piece of
They
shit?
don't know that that's his
I'll
grandfather.
save the human race, actually.
No, but the way the nurse explains, she's like, "Oh, everybody's in there already," and he's like, "Oh, her family's supposed to be there." Like if you walked in and and you're talking and you're like, and she's like, "Dad, listen," and you'd be like, "Did she say Dad or she say like his name Brad or something? Maybe she said it wrong."
But I liked it. I liked how he just left. He just left them to their own accord, and it was almost like Murphy wanted this because that was the first time she'd seen him since he left all
Yeah.
those years ago.
Absolutely.
And
Oh yeah, I never even realized that. That was like the first real physical like seeing.
no, they hadn't even seen each other over the
Well,
over
she
the
hadn't seen him.
monitors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
He's
she
seen
did, 'cause
her.
He said, "Oh yeah, you're right," because he only sent a
Because
message
they can only
the
receive,
day
they
he
could
left.
never send something. For some reason, they could never send a message back. They could only receive.
I don't know if they explain why.
They
but-
don't, and I bet you it had something to do with the wormhole. But whatever.
But I actually that was another problem, because they explained like all that stuff was there, like it was all Matthew McConaughey's doing. Does that mean he put the wormhole there?
Probably.
But how?
Oh
did he do
no,
that?
it wasn't him. It was the future. It was the future
Oh, okay,
civilization.
yeah. Oh, now that's what
afterwards.
you're talking about. Yeah.
So they basically put the wormhole there so that way he could do it. It's kind of like there's a word for it in Doctor Who
Jerking off.
in terms of a future
That's
version, a future version of something that wouldn't exist unless you did something, causing that thing to happen.
Yes. Oh, it's like a. It's
paradox.
like. It's,
No, it's not a paradox.
It's a good paradox.
There is something called a paradox trap though, but that's not. It's not that.
But yeah,
Being
but what
agents.
they did was they essentially
Yes.
created this wormhole. They found the wormhole, and they're like, okay, this is a sign. And so that's what they went. They went through the wormhole, went to that other galaxy. First off, this wasn't another solar system; it was another fucking galaxy.
Yeah.
Which I was like, well,
Did you guys see how
congratulations.
cool the dark hole looked?
The black hole?
That
Yeah,
looks
that was so cool.
With the wormhole?
No,
No,
the black hole.
The black hole looked awesome, but the
The little
wormhole looked
sphere
really
looked
cool
kind
too.
Going through looked really sick.
Yeah, I remember.
It did.
I remember
Like,
when
I
saw
was
it.
in my seat. First off, this movie's not 3D, but I was in my seat like,
Thank God not.
I would have thrown up.
I hate.
oh god, in
3D.
3D? Yeah. Fucking Christ.
I didn't like. I liked some of the shots, but there was like a few like GoPro type shots that the camera was like mounted. Like when he was driving away, I like that. When it was on like the wing of the ship and he was like going, they were like sideways going.
Yes.
Like next.
I
to
thought
him.
at some points towards the beginning it looked a little bit too much like a Levi's commercial. Like
Yeah.
everybody's skin is super warm. It doesn't look natural. Again, it's hard to tell how much of that is done intentionally to give.
Well,
it a
I can tell
specific
you,
style.
at first I was going to be like, oh, what's up with the fucking shaky cam? I was like, Nolan does shaky cam, but usually does it pretty respectably. And like the entire opening is nothing but shaky cam. I'm like, oh, really? And all these strange rack focuses and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck?
It's not as shaky as The Dark Knight is.
No,
I
I
also never
disagree.
explained why the UAV was so low.
What the what?
Like why the.
It came down looking for a signal.
But what signal?
I think it was the one from NASA, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, it
I
was the
think
NASA
I
signal.
think yeah, they were hinting that it because they couldn't figure it out, and it was hinting that it's NASA,
Oh.
and that's where they got the coordinates from.
Okay.
And so, but then I realized why the camera was shaking so much, and that's because they want Matthew McConaughey to feel so distant from everything else, and so they want you to feel distant from everything else, and so the shots were all very strange. And as the movie progressed, the shots got steadier and they got longer.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but at certain points, like in like
I fucking
space
love
shots,
this movie.
when you were supposed to feel like, oh, it's like uncomfortable being in like this situation,
yeah.
it made sure like if it was like that super wide shot, like
Yeah.
even though I liked it, I felt super like, oh, that scares me a little bit because there's so much in that shot, but it's such a small little aspect. Like when they were flying
Oh,
at Saturn and there
yeah.
was like the one little.
Oh,
spot.
you see the little dot? That's the whole.
That's-
Well,
ship.
that's the
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
thing. It's like to make you feel insignificant.
Yeah.
And I think it successfully got that across. The other thing that I love about this from a
Guys,
scientific,
we're like nothing on this planet. Oh my
I know.
god.
Holy shit.
I'm depressed now.
the thing that I really love from a scientific standpoint is I love the silence.
Yeah.
Because when you're outside in space, there is
That was what I was-
zero fucking sound effects.
When the thing was open and like everything was flying out of the ship,
yeah.
it was no noise. When they closed it, all the things started beeping and
I
stuff.
thought that was great.
When
yeah.
after Matt Damon fucked it all up, it was
Yeah, there was a quick bang, and then all of a sudden you were outside,
and all the sound went away.
There was
And
a
then they closed it
because it's a vacuum.
There was
Yeah.
there was a shot towards the beginning of the space stuff that when like one of the first shots where they show the great expanse of space, show all the lights and everything. There was a huge lens flare where the sun was in the center
Oh,
of
I
the
love
camera.
that shot.
I thought that was
Yeah, the
great.
Destiny shot. Go on.
Well, yes, but the following shot with Matthew McConaughey in the cockpit of the ship had sound, and I thought it felt kind of strange, but I almost feel like it was done on
It didn't have any
purpose.
sound.
Oh no! Oh, I think I know what he's talking about. He's in the cockpit and there is sound, but it's very quiet, and that's because they hadn't put.
Yeah,
All
they
you
hadn't
hear,
compressed it.
all you hear is them breathing, and that's
then-
because it's over the radio.
But you hear the equipment going too, and that's the thing that kind of bugged me was you heard like the.
I didn't remember hearing any of the equipment.
Yeah, I didn't hear any of the equipment.
Yeah, I didn't.
And there's no music, so it's kind of like.
No, that was absolutely silent. What are you talking about?
Yeah, all I heard was them talking.
Oh, we're
That's all
talking
I
about the
heard.
same scene.
The
The-
scene
when,
when
they
they
first go into
first
space.
No, not the launch. After they're already in space.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, there was one scene that I know what you're talking about. I think I know what you're talking about. When they first get onto the space station and they start flipping shit on, and at one point, like you hear like the lights go, like you hear like
Something like that. Yeah, but it's just
That's
like,
but that's how I didn't feel comfortable with LED. Like at that point,
it didn't feel comfortable. It just felt kind of like I was really enjoying that kind of ethereal feeling, and then it's just kind of like, oh, now I'm in my car.
Oh my god, man, was this
I first
movie-
when they started spinning the spaceship, I'm like, what the fuck are they doing?
Oh, as soon as
They're
they
trying to
started
turn into-
spinning,
trying to turn into Gamera.
as soon as they started spinning, I was like, oh, they're trying to get gravity. That's what they're doing. They're trying to make artificial gravity.
Yeah.
Is that
Because
what
that's what they do. Gravity requires that kind of spinning because it
triple
pulls you,
force,
it pulls you down into the surface. And I mean, the only reason why we're here now is because the Earth itself is spinning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well, I'm
so,
here with my mom and dad. That's
well, exactly. But
Did you know that gravity is the feeling of constantly falling?
Don't tell me things like that.
Gravity is.
nobody cares, Bill.
That's some deep
Did you know Gravity is the reason that that movie even happened?
Probably.
Not the other movie, not Gravity the movie. Gravity in that movie.
Do you know that
Oh,
gravity
shut
is why we're all alive? Really?
Dude, you said Gravity's the reason that I'm here. Stop.
No, I said I did not say.
Stop
What is
facing that way, because all the camera can see is your like.
To be
back of
fair,
your
you're
hair.
gonna have to blow up the audio and edit it so when each one of us talks, it sounds good. Cause like I talk like kind of okay.
We're
You
moving
talk
around a
much
lot.
loudly. You talk moderate loud. You don't say anything. And
Jake
Mark, when he
hasn't
was
said
talking, he was
one
saying
thing.
anything like normal.
I'm just tired. I love
The last thing that I really
How
wanted
you
to the last thing I really want to talk about. The last thing I want to talk about in this before going to bed is right now.
Right now,
Right here.
We're gonna leave the camera on.
His sleep time.
Is the fucking music score by Hans Zimmer.
Oh, it was fantastic.
You ever
Wow.
play
It was
like
fantastic.
what video games have you played?
Mass Effect.
Mass Effect. You don't remember the exact what's your favorite moment in that entire game?
My favorite moment in the game.
The sex
The
scenes.
suicide mission.
You know that suicide mission when the music kicks in? That's like and like mine is like for Halo 3 when
Oh, I played
when
Halo
he's
3.
walking up and all of a sudden all the ships come up behind him and they go like to go
Yeah.
hit Truth's ship
Oh
in that
yeah,
part,
yeah.
and it goes boom, and like all the music kicks in. That's my favorite part of that whole game because of the music aspect of
That
it. Because
music,
yeah.
it assists the scene so much.
I was reminded a lot of one of my favorite games of all time is the first Dead Space game, and there's
It's
a lot.
scary game.
It
It's
is
a very
one of the
scary game.
greatest.
Too bad the sequels are shit, but
Dead Space 2
Dead Space
is
3 is fun though.
Yeah, well,
Dead Space 2 is that fun though.
there's a lot of great scenes in Dead Space 3, but the whole game overall, I think, completely falls apart. But there's a lot of scenes of like this like they really show you how lonely and how people really don't understand space. You know what I mean? Like they don't get it. Like it just doesn't hit home for them. Like we're not supposed to be there. You know what I mean? It's so.
But in this movie, it makes it seem like you're supposed to.
No, that's the cool thing about it. It's not this like because Dead Space is like this is why space is an Alien. The original Alien did this too because you hadn't really had this up until Alien was space is always trying to kill you, and even once you conquer the lack of air and lack of gravity, then we're gonna throw this parasite at you, and that's what.
To be
That's
fair, even
stories
on
like
Earth,
that are
everything
about.
is still trying to kill me. The
Well,
air is trying to kill me. 'cause I
granted,
will die at
well,
some
the
point for
thing-
no reason.
but back to the music score. It was
Oh, yeah,
done
that's
with
what
a
we're talking
lot
about.
of. It was done with a lot of church organs.
Yeah.
That was I've never heard church organs in a movie.
in a movie
theater.
in space. First off, organs themselves, like church organs, are some of the most beautiful instruments.
they
in your
echo.
period.
One of my favorite
They echo,
songs
is
is-
what
Which
makes
is
it
something
really
that's
good.
kind of weird because that's something that space doesn't do. So it kind of
So
fits.
they probably did that for a reason. But
Yeah.
the music in this movie was so simple,
Yeah.
but yet so good because of that.
Absolutely.
But that's why it was good. It was
Yeah.
complex. I'm sure it would have been fine with it being complex, but the simpleness of it makes it the best it could be.
It does. Oh
It's
my
very
God.
classical, and it's something that I like because it's like Hans Zimmer is guilty of this more than anybody. It's a lot of music scores these days. It's like that, very quick,
And that's why I stopped
very
liking Hans Zimmer.
staccato type stuff. And this was so not
opposite of
the
that.
complete opposite.
And also, it based off like if someone were to play it, it was maybe like 4 beats per second.
Yeah, it was
Seriously.
very slow. Very slow.
It was
And
very
then
slow.
wait, a
But the thing
extended amount
the
of
thing
time.
that makes that work, especially like the scene with the giant wave. First off, I love that line.
Oh,
They're
what
not
an amazing
mountains.
scene.
They're waves.
I was having.
I really wish that moment wasn't in the trailer though, because that was spoiled for me, and I was pissed. I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that's such a good moment."
No, but
and
when I
knew it.
didn't know when they went on the planet, I'm like, oh, this is the
I
planet
didn't.
from the trailer. And that's the one part I saw from any trailer because I saw it in like a review.
yeah.
And then I was like, I thought that was gonna be at the end. I thought they were gonna die.
Oh.
and I didn't think it was gonna be so soon.
I
I'm
would
like,
have, if that, I would have been even more pissed if they would have put that in the trailer than if that would have
you know what's
been
kind of pissed off about? That stupid motherfucker. He was at the ship and she was out there and she got in before him.
Well, that's because he stayed out there to get her,
To get
and make
her.
sure she was okay.
No, but
Ladies first.
my main man,
Ladies
what was his
first.
name? Todd?
Oh, Ben
Oh.
Affleck's? No.
Oh, the other guy.
The robot.
Fuck. Oh,
Tars.
Tars.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Tarzan.
I said Todd.
Tars.
I don't remember what
Those
freaking-
robots were so cool.
They
I
were
don't
so
remember.
cool.
So original. It was like R2D2 meets a Dalek. It was really cool.
It
Do
was
you
so
know
cool.
Do you know who that guy with the beard was? You know who he was?
Oh,
He was in the first Hunger Games. He was the guy who directed like the games. Like he was the
Oh.
one that controlled like the field.
Oh,
The one with the
I-
herpes.
Oh, I didn't see the first Hunger Games. I only saw the second
Was
one.
it?
Did they play a trailer for
And then Philip Seymour Hoffman took his place in second one.
No, they didn't.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
really?
they did. They
did.
played a Mockingjay trailer.
All I remember was
we
the
were,
Hobbit.
when we were in the bathroom.
I was.
You
hyped
guys
for
were in the
Hobbit
room.
trailer.
Yeah. I
I
was-
thought
However-
the Hobbit trailer was. I don't watch those movies, but that trailer was badass.
In The Hobbit, just real quick, spoilers, serious spoilers. Did they kill that big ass dragon in the
Yes,
in the
they
first
did.
Hobbit movie?
Yes, they did.
How do they kill that big ass dragon?
Smell.
Spear. The
Yeah,
spear.
no,
That's it?
Black Arrow.
Yeah, the big black arrow.
The big.
I'm not kidding. It's a big
BB-8?
black arrow. It's a
BB-8.
BB-8, and they shoot it, and it pierces. It's the only weapon that can pierce.
Dragon
It's the only
eye.
that can pierce.
What is the dragon called again?
Smaug.
Smaug.
Smaug. Smaug.
The Hobbit.
But
Or as I,
yeah,
I like
movie.
to call it the Desolation of Penrith.
I hate you so much.
We got the
Okay, continue.
Did you just break this?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, so why?
Jake, get up!
Interstellar was really good, ladies and gentlemen.
This motherfucker just broke this chair. Are
Okay.
you okay?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm worried more
Dude, you
about
broke
this
the
shirt.
fucking chair.
No, that's fine. It's fucking crap. I think.
Chair.
Are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I'm keeping this in.
You
Busted
can
your ass?
take
Yeah,
that
describe that
chair.
chair.
You just want, don't lean on it too much.
Just
I
sit
almost
on it
immediately
first.
stood up.
Oh,
and
you're
I'm like,
leaning on it?
I was sitting.
Fucking idiot.
were you sitting on it?
No,
Stupid
I've
ass?
done that a lot. Don't worry about it.
You've broken chairs a lot?
Yeah.
Jake wasn't a big guy.
Happens to the
Well,
best
guys,
of
my
us.
name is Adam Noyes. Hopefully
And
you
this has
enjoyed this.
been. This is. Here, Jake, you gotta move.
This has been Sons of Interstellar Pirates. What's the other podcast called?
I really hate you guys.
What's
so
the first podcast called?
Sunstars
No, not that one, the other one.
Demons from Outer Space.
Demons from Pirates Sarazawa. Why pirates? What's wrong with
Pirate Sarazawa.
You're standing in front of the camera right now.
I'm aware. Cross.
All right. But okay,
Alright,
so this
alright.
is going to be the ending. This is going to be the ending, anyways. Just overall, your final thoughts, and what would you give this movie out of whatever you want to give it out of? So, like,
You're going first.
Well, I can easily say one of the greatest films I've seen in a while. Definitely the best movie I've seen in 2014.
Yeah.
And I easily give this movie 4 out of 4. Like this movie was fucking phenomenal and blew my mind. It was that great. Bill, you're next.
I really, really want to watch it again. Before I go around saying something like
But
that.
the problem is, I just want to point something out. If you watch it, just watch it like, oh, I can't. I'm gonna be happy to watch it again. Don't watch it. I'm not finding something wrong with this movie. Just saying. Go
Yeah,
on.
you will be looking for stuff that's wrong with the movie.
No, I'm gonna be looking to see. Is this movie
Tusk.
as good as
Tusk.
that initial theater experience? You know what I mean? That's what I'm gonna be interested to see. But I thought this was a brilliant movie. I was with it 100%. I was really engrossed in it. I thought it was a beautifully made film. They shot it on good old-fashioned film. It looked gorgeous. And overall, it ascends the narrative medium, becomes an experience. I'm going to give it... Oh, this is only because I don't know... I'm just going to give it a 4.5 out of 5 for now. That could go up or go down depending on my next film. I'm going to give it a 4.5
I'm glad
out of
it's
5 for
I'm
now.
glad it's supposed to be 4 stars, but I'm glad you're giving it a 5 out of.
No, we do our own
No,
ratings.
we do our own stuff.
You can do
Okay.
whatever you want. You can give it a 7,
I know what
7
I'm gonna
out
give
of
it.
20 for all you fucking...
I know what I'm
fucking
gonna
care.
do.
Okay, well then go, Joe.
Well, based off movies I've seen this year, it's my best theatrical movie I've seen so far this year.
Yeah, nice.
But that
Because
porno I
have
watched
seen-
was
I
so
have-
much better.
I have seen Rocky Horror Picture Show, and that was a great experience.
That's not a movie that
I'm not
can-
going
as
to
a
deny
movie.
that is a great
as a
experience.
movie. But I think you guys are giving it a hard time just because you want something there to be something wrong with it, but it's gonna be really hard to find.
I give it
something.
4 out of 4.
No, I'm talking to him, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Mr. I wear a hat all the time.
I don't want there
So
to
I'm
be
gonna
something
give
wrong
it-
with it. I just want to accept that
I'm
there
gonna
might
give
be a
it.
possibility.
I'm gonna give it 3.8 human walrus suits out of 4.
I like it. I
That
like
is
it.
really... That
I
sounds
like
like
it.
a
Now it's your turn, Mark.
That's like a midget in a walrus suit.
Just
Well, For me, I don't. Well,
Let's work him like a puppet. I think this movie was great.
well, I normally don't go to movie theaters that often, and I often don't plan on seeing movies like this. But I'm glad that you guys dragged me along.
Clearly dragged him along.
I saw things tonight that terrified me and made me question the meaning of humanity.
Not just a movie.
Other than the movie, everything else was terrible. But
Hey, we got some good food. You got to see him eat 4 pretzels.
Three
Three, I ate
pretzels.
one.
That's still too many pretzels.
It is too many.
A half a pretzel, almost too many.
But anyway, this film is really, it's really one that you have to see in the theaters. It's a great experience.
I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
What's your score? What's your score?
Score out of 10, like 9 point.
Okay. I'd fucking take it. If I was a director and I heard that somebody gave my movie a 9 out of 10, I'd be like, fuck yeah!
Well, you're making some shitty movies though.
Back to go snort some cocaine.
Kristen Nolan could literally just probably like
Kristen
snort-
Nolan. Kristen Nolan, the future daughter of Christopher Nolan.
Jake, review, please, hurry.
Yeah, Jake.
Overall thoughts, Jake?
Before he says this, I was talking to my parents and I was trying to talk about Buddhism and I said I worship the booty and they don't let me talk anymore at dinner table. Go on.
My parents sewed my mouth shut because I said that. All right, Jake, go ahead. You have the floor.
Alright,
Don't fuck it up.
Literally, he has the floor because he fell off.
You fell off the fucking chair.
oh god.
You fucked up.
That is gonna live on in the annals of the internet.
It is.
Can you send me that so I can put it on Facebook? Later?
Yeah, I will. I'll just loop it.
All right, Jake, go ahead.
Alright.
I want
Yeah.
absolute silence for Jake. I want to hear the brilliance that he's gonna say.
Alright.
Interstellar speeches is coming up. Just you wait.
Amazing.
This is an interesting
Don't let this movie fade into the dark.
All right, go ahead.
this is gonna be an interesting decision I have to make. You know, unlike some of the other people here, I have seen the trailers for it. I have already read reviews on it, and I had such high anticipation for the movie because I figured it was Christopher Nolan. He was gonna make something breathtaking, but it started out with a 77% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I found that a little surprising. And then now it's at 74. And then I read reviews on
I'm
On
not
the
even in
movie.
this shot. I'm not even in this entire.
Yes, you are.
There you are.
Look at this. I'm over.
Well, Joe, you're only half in because that's all you're worth.
I talked for a fucking hour. I'm half in this shot.
I'm probably just gonna wind up using the audio except for him falling out of the chair.
Okay. never mind.
Randomly cuts a video in that one scene.
Yeah, I know.
Jake, hang on. When you said I had an important decision to make, super muffin.
Blood muffin.
So, oh my god.
Raspberry muffin.
Oh my god. That video is so.
Talk.
Yeah, sorry.
Alright, well, like I said, I've read and watched some people review this movie, and they've said, like, you know, the movie is a
What the hell is wrong
disaster.
with you?
What? Will, you're
Would
interrupting.
you two knock it off?
He started it.
I kind of want to sit in a chair now.
Oh, there's one right there. The one that you didn't break.
Here, sit on this one.
Don't break it. Don't lean on it like a fucking.
fat piece
I
of
wasn't
shit.
leaning on it, I'm just...
Are you praying to your booty right now?
I was actually praying the second chair broke immediately.
Alright, finish up. Go ahead.
Alright, so I watched all the trailers, I had very high anticipation for the movie, and I read the reviews, and there were some people who were saying that the movie is not what they were looking forward to and not what they expected.
You guys are
And,
assholes.
We are.
and that the movie could be considered a disaster. There were some people who said that it was just Matthew McConaughey going on a road trip, stopping from planet to planet to planet. And
You gotta, in order to go forward, you gotta go back.
Go back.
And
I'm laughing at something so weird. Go on, Jake.
I'll finish up and then
and then there was people who said like the black hole was voiced by Orson Welles, and it was just like
Which would have been awesome.
Shocker, those people were wrong.
He's only been dead for like 50 years.
Or unless it was like just like somebody was like recording Orson Welles breathing back in like 1980, and that was what they used for.
Yeah,
the
young
Well,
Christopher
no.
Nolan walks up to like dying Orson Welles.
Excuse
thinking I'm going to make this movie in about 30 years.
About 30 years.
About 30 years. Called Interstellar.
He sounds like a
Is he
New York
British?
homeless kid.
Yeah, I think he's British.
as
Yeah.
fuck.
It's Christopher Nolan, right?
Christopher Nolan.
I was saying Chris before, and I said Kristen.
I'm sure he doesn't mind.
Okay.
You fucking
So-
mind though, Will.
I do, a little bit.
So all of that said, I'm convinced that we entered a parallel universe where Interstellar was the greatest movie of this generation, because everyone else is describing
I don't know if I go that far.
the first Transformers movie.
So yeah, I don't understand why people are hating on this movie so much.
Listen.
But
Because they gotta have something to talk about. If they say something different, people will disagree, right? Leave an extra comment.
oh yeah, this is
It's
true.
all they want.
No,
Listen,
yeah,
we're approving the hunting of humans who don't like Interstellar. It's basically what the purpose of this episode is.
Yeah.
no, it.
So grab your rifles.
I was exactly.
Grab your dildos.
Grab your dildos and we're out for a hunt.
and prepare thy anus.
Okay.
I was a little exaggerating a bit when I said greatest movie of the generation, but I was just saying, compared to what everyone else was saying, that
Yeah,
they're saying
absolutely.
it's a really big disappointment, and that is we have no idea what they're talking
I
about.
don't know if they actually saw this movie.
I've seen reviews say, "Oh, Fast and Furious 25 is the best movie of this generation."
Yeah, because it's gone that far. We saw that trailer. I was literally like, no.
That looks stupid.
I've actually saw that trailer before this tonight. I've
No.
watched,
Yeah, I
I
saw it.
watched it
I saw
last
it.
month. Finish what you were saying, so I can say what was funny in my brain before.
So, I really enjoyed the movie. I mean, people like I could take this objectively and say it did have a lot of build up in the beginning, but that it was necessary build up, and I did enjoy watching it. But right as I was watching it, I was like, I want to go to space, and that was just me being impatient.
Space!
What is
I'm going to the one place where the stench of capitalism.
What is that from when someone is saying
Space!
It's like you're just screaming space at top of
What?
your lungs. Where is that from? It's a fucking movie or a TV show, and someone just screams space.
There was a story
Spaceship.
about I remember there was a story we talked about on SOS about this actual NASA astronaut.
Oh yeah, he was like, I'm in the fucking
And
space.
he was disturbing the audience by getting up and screaming at the movie that the movie wasn't scientifically accurate. He was like, "You think you've been to space?
No, but-
I've been to space," and they had to remove him because he was causing a disturbance.
What do you
Is
give
this
this
specific?
movie?
Well,
Yes, hurry
I
up.
still fuck you. All right.
We get it.
Granted,
We
I'm
get it.
very like-
People are idiots. Now
Yeah,
tell
you're
us what
fucking
you think.
smelling.
No, I am.
I'm trying to.
You trying to get high off
Water
this?
bottles smell good.
Oh, cherries. Oh. All right.
That's my
No,
robot.
I'm
What are your thoughts?
No, I'm just saying that I'm just a little confused.
Keep my Advil, yo. It cost me $23.
All right, Jake.
Well,
You still have it, dude.
I'm just a little confused. I'm just a little confused about the whole movie thing, because this is the first time
I'm
I've
confused about
actually.
the concept of a movie.
No, it was
Sitting,
just, no.
sitting down. That's a
Movies,
weird thing.
according to Rizzuto, movies are nothing but lies.
Who said that?
Rizzuto.
It's true. He's not wrong.
To be fair, Rizzuto was like 45 and made no film.
Yeah.
Oh God.
He has one Indiegogo thing that raised like $1,000.
All right. Finish up.
All right. Well, no, I was just expressing that it was an interesting thought. I thought the thought was interesting that everyone else saw a different movie. Shut the fuck up. All right. So,
What do you give this movie?
well, no, I really.
This is longer than this. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah, your review is longer than the
Wrap it up.
I know. I just.
Tie it up in this bow.
I like the movie.
you go.
I can't really think of a good rating. I just call it breathtaking.
So I'll give it 4.8 stars out of 5 for you. How about that?
Whatever you.
20 out of
What?
7.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
Wait,
this
what
has
a-
been a
Anna, wait.
what?
What I was thinking before, that would have been the funniest thing in the world when I was just laughing hysterically.
Okay.
I imagine Will's mom coming down tomorrow and just seeing a pile of broken chairs. What happened to my chairs?
What happened to my chairs, Billy?
And is this a post?
Oh my god!
I'm gonna post it. Sorry, dash Jake.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna do.
Sorry, go on. You can end them.
Yeah, well, that's a review for Interstellar. I hope you enjoyed. And
YouTube.com/meaningfulchaos.
say that again.
YouTube.com/meaningfulchaos.
Okay.
Which is where you can find all of your transsexual hermaphrodite porn for all your needs.
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah. But this is Adam Roy Schmam saying, just fuck you.
Transsexual love.
I love you
wait
guys.
Wait a minute. I got something to say.
You wait till the end of this.
I guess you can say that Christopher Nolan made a very interstellar movie.
Oh window right there. Jump.
Okay.
Well, we'll help you on the way.
A man was killed
All
tonight.
right, somebody cut this fucking thing.
I really want to go home.
I want to go home now.
You gotta take that home, so.
They weren't taking us home, fucker.